series presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The producer's purpose is to suggest some possible explanations, but not necessarily the only ones, to the mysteries we will examine.
Often described as unexplained claw marks, evidence of advanced lost high technology, evidence of advanced machine marks. These type of tool marks, such as seen at Baalbek in Lebanon, are just standard quarrying marks, ancient and modern.
Okay, lost ancient high technology tool marks. Well, here we are. We're just next to the Argyle Stair here in the rocks in Sydney, and well, across the ancient world and up until the modern era, you'll see these same tool marks again. This is Sydney, Australia. This is not Baalbek. This is not Petra. This is not any other places. This is just the standard tool markings. And if you pay attention to the lines, imagine using a pick and you're swinging on a wall. What shape are you going to cut out? You're going to cut out this shape because this follows the natural human forms. This is the reason for these apparently unexplainable lost high technology markings. They can be found literally everywhere across time, across the world. But if you conveniently ignore these and ignore all these facts, don't show the modern equivalents, and then just say, oh, look at this impossible, never replicated. Well, it's literally all over the world, all over time. And shame on those who would use these examples and then suppress history and suppress the truth to promote their nonsense ideas, because it's just fake. As long as you don't show all these other things and attach mystical, magical elements to it and say some, lost civilization, lost aliens or something, well, that sounds great. But if you show a comparison, if you actually open your eyes, you look at the granite stonework that was done prior to modern tools, you look at the even conundrum and other sculptures made of these apparently impossible to work without modern equipment tools, these types of tool marks everywhere, all over the place. It is nonsense. It really is a nonsense, and it's actually shameful that these people say that, and then charge people thousands of dollars to go on a tour to point them at stuff that you could find, just here in Sydney. How do they get away with it?
Here we see a photo from an article by Per Stormyer and a comparison of an ancient Egyptian quarry on the top, and on the bottom we see a Swiss 1800s quarry, and exactly the same tool technique, because these tools have just been used throughout time. And the tooling marks, often described as evidence of advanced machinery, are evidence of primitive technology. And I use that word primitive in a sarcastic sense because it's a way to diminish our ancestors. So the primitives of the 19th century versus the primitives of ancient Egyptian times. Now, if you were to compare these four, and I was to be deceptive and use lost ancient high technology tactics, so I'd look at these four amazing unexplained evidence of advanced quarrying techniques in the ancient past. Machines cannot do this. Archaeologists will not talk about this. They will not answer the questions. They will not examine these things. This is surely evidence of a lost civilization from our past, and we must uncover the truth and expose the corruption inherent in the archaeological mafia and just release humanity from this burden. This is what we must do. But once these are labelled, you understand where they come from. The top left is ancient Egypt, top right is the Roman temple of Baalbek. Lower left is 1800 Switzerland quarry. Lower right is the Argyle cut here in Sydney. And so again, these are just standard quarrying marks. It is not a difficult topic to research, to learn about. It's stone masonry, stone quarrying 101. You don't need high levels of expertise, and these apparently skilled master masons who are in this lost ancient high technology industry, they must know. If they are anything what they claim to be, they must know that this is the reality of the situation. Here are a couple of old photos from stonemasons and from quarries, and well, you might be able to pick out immediately this unexplained claw marks is just a standard quarrying, stone cutting, stonemasonry technique. We just zoom in and again we can see these unexplained claw marks. The archaeologists, in terms of ancient structures, which these are not, they do study these things, and for instance the one that sticks in mind is the Parthenon in Athens, where the tool marks, the corrupt archaeologists have studied it so much that they're able to identify patterns in the tools and the behaviour of the way the tool marks are made to identify individual masons. Their work leaves a signature. So again, these things have been studied, and why don't the academics do it more? Because it's such a nonsense topic. It's done, it's settled, it's not a mystery at all. Here are another couple of examples on the left we see from the Cultural Revolutions where untrained non-stonemasons during the Cultural Revolution they went out into the countryside, and what are they leaving? They're leaving claw marks. That's you cut out these grooves, you leave a gap between, and you can snap the middle off. It's just a very effective way of working stone. On the right you see a more qualified stonemason making a bowl, and he's again will use this technique. Once you get it to a certain level, then you chip it down with a toothed chisel or pick, and then you grind it down with a rasp to get a very smooth surface.
100 years or something like that. It's good steel, very well made and very well balanced. How did you come by it? Someone gave it to me. There was a stone cutter, the third generation of stone cutters. He was the youngest at 60 years old when he gave it to me. That's a tetu. It's a very heavy tool, but it's very efficient. It's for cutting and reducing the stone in size, like a stone like this one here. I'm going to make an angle, for example. Here, this side. It's very efficient. Look out! Always from the inside. If I hit it like this, I'll spoil everything. It's flat. And which is your favorite tool? This one here is the most beautiful. In the sun you see all the strokes. It's marvelous, it's fine work. For example, the result is quite different. It cuts completely differently. Look, it's flat. It works like a saw. They make houses with saw-cut angles. Very smooth, and the offcuts are like this. So as not to spoil that, it starts to look like this. There you are. Good. Here, for example, we will break it. You make the holes here. You cut entirely with that.
Voilà. Bon, si je veux faire
If I want to do something very fine in the churches or something very, very clean,
ça, c'est dans les églises ou les quelque chose de très très clean.
Oui.
Uniquement
only
la
with
pierre
soft
d'ici,
stone
la
from
pierre
around
tendre.
here. Soft stone for that.
Pour ça.
Oui.
Dans la pierre froide,
If the
les
stone
dents
is
se cassent.
cold, it
Oui.
breaks the tools.
Ça va vite, hein.
It goes fast.
Après, quand
After when the
les
people
gens
do
faisaient un
the
travail
work
très,
very,
très,
very
très, très
neatly,
fin encore,
after that it's the rasp.
Cette pierre-là est très tendre, elle est encore
The stone here is very soft.
Oui.
It's softer than that one.
Fascinant.
Après, il y a des chemins de fer ronds.
And after that there are
Les-
round
les
rasps for the mouldings.
Avec ça, on peut faire une moulure. Ici,
With
par
this you
exemple.
can do a moulding, for example.
Une moulure en creux.
Oui.
An indented moulding.
Voilà. Par exemple ça. On peut le finir comme on veut.
Aufgabe der beiden Schroter. Sie legen Schrotgräben um die Ränder der vorgesehenen Schleifsteine herum, die etwa einen Fuß tief ausgehauen werden. Das Gestein zwischen den Rundungen gilt als Abfall. Gräben um die Ränder der vorgesehenen Schleifsteine herum, die etwa einen Fuß tief ausgehauen werden. Das Gestein zwischen den Rundungen gilt als Abfall. Ihre Aufgabe ist es, die Rundlinge so weit freizulegen, dass sie von den Schleifsteinhauern fertig gemacht werden können. Dazu muss der Schrotgraben 65 bis 70 cm tief ausgehauen werden. Zum Entfernen des Kleinschlags oder der Schrotten an den offenen Stellen Zum Aushauen des Schrotgrabens in voller Rundung brauchen die beiden Schroter 2 Arbeitstage.